It's good we have met again on this channel, Biblical Research and Innovation Network for Africa, Brain for Africa or BrainFA. This video is part of my series on research methodologies, and in this video I'll be sharing with you what the Gardener-Theologian Approach is. My intention in this video is to give an overview of how this approach was developed and later give the methodological steps in another video. The Gardener-Theologian Approach to research, that is theological research, was formulated in 2023. I formulated this approach after some period of analysis between the work of the theologian and the work of the gardener. The gardener, in this sense, I'm talking about a farmer. So I know that in some context, the gardener refers to somebody who attends to flowers, somebody who manages lawns, and somebody who helps in clearing snow. In the context of the Gardener-Theologian Approach, the gardener simply refers to the farmer. So anybody who farms is a gardener in this context. After a period of analysis and comparison between the work of the theologian and that of the gardener, I came out with the Gardener-Theologian Approach to theological research. Let me give a little background of my life. I was born and raised in an agrarian society, and so I'm used to the systems of farming and the practices. During my early stages, I did a lot of farming, and I even continued until recently when work demands no more allow me to farm. And so I know a lot about what the farm does, right from the preparation of the land to cultivation to harvesting and distribution. Then for some time now, I've also been doing theological research, and so I have been researching in various areas of theology, but more especially in the area of systematic theology and public theology, among others. After reflecting on the works of the theologian and that of the farmer, that is the gardener, I realized remarkable and striking similarities between their works. Then it occurred to me that we can use these similarities to formulate an approach to theological research. After some time of reflecting upon this, I decided to formulate the Gardener-Theologian Approach, which I'm sharing with you in this video. What similarities between the work of the theologian and the work of the gardener or the farmer led to this formulation? I must say that the comparison was done between the farmer and the public theologian, meaning originally this theological approach was formulated for public theological discourse. So what is public theology? Public theology has been defined from different angles, but I'll give a simple definition here. I want to simply define it as the public engagement with theology, meaning the use of theological discourses to speak to public issues. So the socio-political issues going on in the country, going on in the society, when we engage them with our theological perspectives, then we are doing public theology. I've said earlier that I'm giving a simple definition. It doesn't mean that is all. There are different perspectives to this important subject. First of all, both the public theologian's work and the farmer's work are biblically grounded or biblically based. The public theologian's task is to engage the public sphere with theology. And any theology that is worth its salt will definitely be based on the Bible. You can do a public theology, at least from the evangelical perspective, without having a robust and credible biblical foundation. So whatever the public theologian is doing, his main and final source of authority is the Bible. In the case of the farmer, even though not every aspect of farming may be considered as based on the Bible, there are certain aspects of farming or certain principles in farming which are based directly on biblical principles. An example can be taken from Leviticus chapter 25, verses 3 to 4. Here God tells the Israelites to farm or work their land for 6 years, and on the 7th year, leave it to rest. The sabbatical rest for the land is similar to the agricultural practice, where after working on the same piece of land for some time, one allows it to rest so that it can replenish for further or future farming. This is land rotation principle, which is important in farming, especially in our part of the world, that is Africa, where mechanized farming is not that popular. We need to do land rotation, and it is based on biblical principles. There are others that we can talk about, but that is not the focus of this video. The second one is that both the works of the theologian and the gardener are problem-solving oriented. The theologian seeks to address public issues through theological discourses. Similarly, the farmer or the gardener also intends to use their work and their produce to address public issues. For example, if we are told that in a community there is the lack of a certain foodstuff, then farmers will try to cultivate that more to be able to address that issue of shortage in that foodstuff. So both the theologian and the gardener from this perspective are problem-solving oriented persons. Thirdly, the work of the theologian and the work of the gardener are both intercontextual. There is this kind of moving from one context to another. When somebody is theologizing for a particular context, which is normally done, the person is addressing contextual issues, yet the person also tries to look at what is going on in other parts of the world. And so we say that it is both global and local, and that is where the term glocal was derived from. So the theological enterprise involves both contextual and global issues. You can't say that you are theologizing and be within your context, and that is all. You must also know what is going on in other contexts. Similarly, the gardener's work or the work of the farmer cannot be done without looking at what other farmers are doing, what other farmers of different geographical areas are doing concerning a particular system of farming or concerning the cultivation of a particular crop. So in both cases, intercontextuality is applied. The fourth similarity is that both the theologian's task and the gardener's task are interdisciplinary. If you take public theology, for instance, the public theologian needs to know economics, anthropology, politics, and other aspects of human life to be able to do their work very well. In the same way, the farmer is expected to know about marketing, is expected to know how to do at least basic accounting, the expenses incurred in the process of cultivating the crop, records are kept of that, and at the end of the day, some kind of accounting has to be done. The last similarity is multilingualism. Both the theologian and the gardener need to be multilingual. The public nature of public theology makes the theologian encounter personalities of different traditions and backgrounds. Because the public theologian deals with people of different linguistic backgrounds, they ought to be multilingual in order to be able to listen to the various people they encounter and interact with them meaningfully. Here one is not talking about different dialects such as Swahili, Bonuchi, Zulu, or Igbo language. No, we are rather talking about the various people, the languages they use in terms of their jargons, in terms of their terminologies, in terms of how they communicate to others. In the same way, the farmer or the gardener also deals with different kinds of people. The farmer buys from people, people buy from them, and so the farmer encounters the taxi driver, the farmer encounters the market woman, the farmer encounters customers, those who are just buying some few of their produce. And so has to know how to go about dealing with all these people? They speak different languages. So the farmer needs to be multilingual, just as the public theologian is expected to be. What then is the Gardener-Theologian Approach? The Gardener-Theologian Approach is the theological research methodology based on parallels between the works of the gardener, that is the farmer, and the public theologian. This theological model applies basic principles of crop production that require nursery and active involvement of the gardener in the production process. I'm sure this overview has given you a good orientation about the Gardener-Theologian Approach. I want you to watch the next video, which is on the methodological steps that can be derived based on the analysis that we have done in this video. Thank you very much.